an unsatisfactory experience with the Long & Foster home warranty company. My husband and I received this warranty when we bought our house, which was a little over 2 years ago. And I really had pretty minimal contact with them until November. Now, our policy expired on November 11th of last year. And on November 10th, we found a leak from our water heater. And our water heater connects to the humidifier, and then it connects a little bit lower to a pump. So I reported the problem to them immediately. I put in a web request for help because their recording said that their phone time was going to be a 20-minute or longer wait. So I had a repair person who was assigned to come the following Monday. This was a Friday. There was an 8-hour window for that person to come. They never showed up. And I called the repair company, and they said that the home warranty company had scheduled it, but it hadn't gotten on the repair company's calendar. So basically, they had never scheduled the repair person. So they rescheduled it for the next day, and then still the person didn't show up. And I can't remember what the problem was at that point. I think they said that, oh, I remember. They said he tried to call me, but I didn't call back, but I had no messages from him at all. So I'm not sure what happened there. I tried to call the home warranty a couple of times to both to complain about this and possibly to get a new representative to come out. And both times I was on hold for well over an hour. And the second time I was on hold for over an hour, then I was connected to a voicemail box that was full and then completely disconnected. I finally got the repair person to come that Friday. Fortunately, the leak never reached an emergency type level. There wasn't any damage and we never lost hot water. So the repair person came. It wasn't even during the time window. So luckily, I'm a full-time remote worker. So if I had been a person who was scheduled to go into the office and then come back for the afternoon, I would have missed them again, but I just happened to be home. I thought that he fixed the problem. What he did was he replaced an emergency turnoff valve for the water heater, and that previously had been broken. So I thought that fixed the entirety of the problem, and then when my husband got home later, he knows a little bit more about these problems than I do, and he pointed out that the problem had not been completely fixed. So then, and then that weekend, the leak restarted. So I called them again. They were unresponsive. Again, I was on hold for ridiculously long periods of time. I think at that point, that was when I first posted my complaint on your website. And a representative from them responded to the complaint and encouraged me to contact them. I did that. They assigned me to one of their representatives, and over a period of about a month with me consistently calling that representative to check upon the claim, he would say, they were researching it, they had kicked it up to a higher level, they were researching it more intensely, but nobody was ever sent out. Finally, the first week in September, he approved it for a recall, but the technician refused to come. He said it was a new complaint, and it needed to be, I guess I needed to pay a new deductible for the claim. So I reported this back to Long & Foster. For the first time, the representative said that he had talked to the technician, Sean, who had come out, and that the water heater had not been installed properly to code, which was something that Sean told me the first time that he was here. But keep in mind, the water heater is 10 years old. So at the time that it was installed to code, and that was also 8 years before we even bought our house. So we had nothing to do with that. The Long & Foster representative also said that the problem was possibly related to the humidifier expansion tank, and they explicitly don't cover those things. So basically, it wasn't going to be covered at all. Now, on the plus side, when that representative was working with me, he did oversee 2 other claims that the company had previously denied, and he kept me updated on my reimbursements for those claims. The company decided to cover them. So I was reimbursed for those 2 claims, but they never covered the water heater. So I had independent experts come a couple of times. One was a plumber, and one was an HVAC person. The plumber flushed my water heater and said that there wasn't a problem with the water heater. And he also showed me a couple of very easy fixes that we could do with the leaks from the pipes that my husband and I could even do by ourselves. I had another HVAC person come, and the HVAC person found a very easy fix for the leak that was coming from what I thought was the expansion tank. He said it wasn't an expansion tank at all. He said we don't even have one, and that was a pump. So he fixed that, and as long as we keep the water pressure based on the emergency shutoff valve, if we keep that to a fairly low level through the humidifier, we have not seen the leak again. And fortunately, we don't have any damage from the water. All of this equipment is in a closet that's shut away. So water didn't leak out. We have buckets set up there. And my husband and I together are home enough so that we can kind of monitor the situation. So fortunately, it never reached an emergency level and we didn't get any damage, but the home warranty company was really no help with us at all. It's pretty ironic because their whole claim is you don't have to have any stress if anything goes wrong with anything in your home. You should buy our coverage and then you can just call us and just get in touch with us, and it's a one-stop shop, and we'll send our expert out. And you don't have to worry about finding your own experts, and we'll take care of the problem. But in fact, that's not the case at all. I'm actually a lot more comfortable finding my own expert and following up and paying whatever that expert charges. The home warranty companies aren't cheap. If you buy them, to renew the policy, the charge would have been something like, I think maybe a $700 payment. And then per claim, you have like a $100 or $125 as your deductible for the claim. So basically, the first time anything goes wrong, it's like $800 or so, when you factor that all in. Between the two independent people that I had come out, the one to flush the water heater and then the separate HVAC expert, the total cost that I paid was $49. So, even with the $100 deductible, I kind of made out getting my own people to come rather than relying on the company.